Welcome to the Suburbs with Andy and Greg.
It's time for Season 2, Episode 40. Enjoy. When you guys are in St. Pete, do you plan activities around the water, or do you get your fill of that at the lake?
I've been around water a time or two since birth.
No doubt.
Including the water birth.
Water birth. It's a boy.
So we decide one day let's go rent jet skis and jet ski around the ocean. Let's rent kayaks and kayak near the manatee. Let's do this and that. They make you sign a bunch of releases and they go over how the jet ski works. They tell you the areas that you're allowed to go before the geo signals to them that you're cheating and outside of the boundaries. So you can go out into the ocean or you can go on the intercoastal. We were like 150 yards from the pier.
You could see it.
You could see it.
You could almost touch it.
If I was Shaq, I could have touched it with my toe. Most of it is idle zone until you get into this one channel. Mm-hmm. And there are big pilings with signs that show you where the channel is and tell you whether it's no wake or idle zone. Keely's behind me.
Two-seater.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of a sudden, she goes, I think you're being pulled over.
Of course I am. Why haven't they pulled me over sooner?
Yeah, right. I know. They understand who it is. Big boat, big blue light. Boop, boop. Okay, pull over, please. Hey, jet skier, pull over.
Coast Guard?
Coast Guard.
Oh, wow.
And he is incensed that I've done something wrong. I'm not even up to I'm still on pit lane. He said, do you know why I pulled you over? I go, no, I have no idea why you pulled me over. And he said, this is a no-wake zone. And I'm like, I was going like 5. What are you talking about? And he's like, you were plowing and creating a wake. Well, I've got a passenger behind me. You can't say anything like a weight crack about it. And it has nothing to do with her weight. But, you know, you tend to plow when you've got somebody else on there, unless you're going even slower or faster, maybe.
Any slower, you'd be sinking.
He's like, do you have your registration? And I go, maybe. I don't. And he's like, is this a rental?
Tourist. Effing tourist.
Aren't the rental ones a certain color? I mean, up at the lake, the party pontoons, they say rental. The rental cars used to be that way until they started hijacking them in Florida. And, you know, there's not a lot of hijacking pontoon boats at the lake, so they can still have rental on the side. They're the ones cutting you off when you're skiing. You know, they're like waving, driving right in front of the boat. They have no idea.
Drinking.
Oh, yeah, drinking. I think they actually give you a fifth of vodka when you rent it.
This is your fuel.
Yeah, here's your Bloody Mary mix. Here's your fifth of vodka. Go have fun. Make sure you do circles around the skiers.
Don't hurt anybody.
Right. Be back by dawn. He's like, did they give you a class before you? I said, I know how to drive these, and I was trying to go idle speed. And you saw how fast I was going. He's like, but you were, you know, the wake was, he's just, I don't know, trouble at home. I don't know what his problem was. I'm not smuggling anything, and the pier is right there. I can still, they're sitting there probably like giving me the hands, like, you just left the pier and you're getting pulled over.
And he was a stranger, so.
I was forced into that conversation, unlike the others.
He started it.
Mom, he started it. So he's like, okay, all right. So do you get it? Do you get it what you're supposed to do? You know, I'm sitting there inside like, not really, because I was going slow. I mean, I understand the wake part of it, but I was going so slow, I was creating a wake. You have to be on plane to not create the wake. He ended up letting me go without writing me up or anything. I didn't get a ticket.
You did or didn't?
Did not.
Did not. Let you go with a warning.
Yeah, he did let me go. And Keely is just like...
She's knitting.
Knitting a wetsuit. First neoprene knitted wetsuit in America today. Now you can buy them on eBay.
You can add this to your checklist of...
Being pulled over.
No, of being let go.
Scant few. Yeah, the Coast Guard. So that's on my resume. So it's game warden, state police, county police, City police.
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard.
Wow.
Like the military is the only people who haven't pulled me over.
Well, they are the military.
I guess they are, yeah.
Them and the Space Force.
Space Force, yeah. I haven't been pulled over by the Space Force yet. I need to get my pilot's license. Maybe just like a Cessna.
Your rocket ship license. When I was at Butler studying broadcasting, they had various classes for us. One was on diction and pronunciation and all kinds of things.
Oh, sure.
To better yourself as a broadcaster, even though many people that were in the classes weren't going to broadcast. They had this great idea that the broadcasting students need to take...
Phonetics?
No, singing.
Oh, nice. Boy, that would have been the day I wear Depends.
Not one semester. 2 semesters.
Okay. So a year of singing.
Year of singing.
And?
Me being not a singer.
So wait a minute. Did other people tell you you're not a singer, or do you just feel like you're not a singer?
Clearly, I know I'm not a singer.
Well, wait a minute.
I don't need to be told.
Because you're an engineer by trade, an audio engineer, you've heard yourself sing and you go, ooh, glass broke in the classroom.
I have this knack of knowing pitch and relative pitch and in harmony and what notes are right and wrong. I cannot express them
Vocally.
in voice. So I can identify what's in tune and out of tune and what notes it should be or where you should be singing, but I can't sing it to you.
So it's not self-critical. It's confirmed. Do you sing in the car?
No.
Do you sing at all?
No.
You're just terrified of it.
Just not interested.
Not interested. You don't sing. So, yes, 90125 comes on, and you're not compelled to sing any of those songs.
I'll sing it in my mind.
Oh, will you? Okay. Are you in pitch in your mind?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I could be in the band.
Oh, could you? So, do you like drum along with the drummer too?
I used to do a lot of that.
Did you? Mind drumming?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So, do you see yourself like sitting down with the drum kit in front of you and you're just like nailing it?
I used to have a drum set up here in the studio.
I know you
I
did.
used to come down here with the headphones and play music.
Yeah.
But, the dogs didn't like that.
The dogs. Are they in charge? Are they the ones making the house payment?
You would think.
Was it the dogs or the other dog owner?
Well, I used to do it when she was at work.
Oh, that was handy. So did you ever make the mistake of doing it while she was here? And she's like, Andy. And so then you get electronic drums.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Would it?
At church, we called it Tupperware.
Oh, do you really?
Dane Clark, when he would come and substitute for drumming at church, would got to play the Tupperware. So, singing class.
Yeah, right. Sorry.
Let me tell you about singing class. You have to get up there and stand in front of my classmates, and they're playing the piano, and you're singing these, I don't even know what kind of songs they were.
What do you mean? Limericks?
I mean, I don't know what genre they were. I don't know. It was, I guess, stuff that they would sing in...
Broadway shows?
No, nothing that fun.
Oh, really?
It was not popular music. It was just choral music that you would sing in choir by yourself. So I eked through with, I think, C's because of my poor attendance.
Just the motivation of going.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah, I feel for you on that one.
And then it was just like, got to do it again.
For the next semester.
Yeah.
Keely took piano, and finally the piano teacher said, I think you should pick a different
instrument.
It's a paid gig. You're going, I think you should pick something.
Maybe you should go into medicine.
So did the teacher ever just like sympathize with you or anything?
No, there was so much PTSD around that.
Oh.
I can remember standing there, though.
I bet.
Oh, it was awful.
I bet it was.
I'd be more comfortable speaking in front of the class.
Uh-huh. Oh, that'd be awesome. I would love to do that.
Shocker.
I know you're going to be shocked with this one. I took as many speech classes as I could.
Showed up to some random ones. Who's this guy?
At the end, they're like, we couldn't find you to grade you. Oh, I just showed up. I had spare time, so I came in.
Who's that guy up there talking still?
There was one class I took at Ball State that was like one of those have to take kind of classes. And I just couldn't. You're far better than me because I couldn't get there. And I finally went up to the professor and she's like, what is up with you not showing up? I got arrested. I made up getting arrested because I just couldn't bring myself to go to class.
It's a class you did not enjoy?
Did not enjoy.
And what class was it?
Couldn't even tell you now.
It wasn't speech.
No, it's not speech. I mean, are you kidding?
Is it talking to strangers?
How I viewed speech, even in high school, was training for stand-up.
Let me ask you this. Were you in the debate club?
Not. I was in fly tying club in middle school.
Nice. Kind of like math club.
I don't know. Wasn't in that one.
Oh, yeah. You're not very good with math or physics or spelling, just talking.
I know the words. I just might invert the N and the I or something. I told you I got fired from balancing the checkbook because I inverted the numbers. I mean, I can do the math. It's just 12 becomes 21 accidentally.
That can be a problem.
Oh, Keely fired me. She's the one that suggested that I do it because I'm on the road. She's working a day job. I'm working at night. She said, in between writing and performing, why don't you balance a checkbook? And I said, okay. And the very first month, you're fired. I had trauma when I looked at this. You talk about PTSD from singing in front of people, balancing the checkbook for her, that gave her PTSD.
Because of your poor performance?
Because of inverting. I'm not kidding you. 12 would become 21. I would just write it backward. So you were in singing. I'm trying to figure out how we got to singing.
I think we talked about failing.
Oh.
And at the end of the day, I couldn't tell you why that made me a better broadcaster.
Projecting?
I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't ask questions. Just showed up and
Oh,
kept my head
God,
down.
man, you're better than I am.
I mean, just think if Dave Calabro wouldn't have taken singing, he'd probably be a failure at broadcasting. But luckily, he went through the Butler curriculum, took 2 semesters of singing. Look at him now.
And now Dave is the voice of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Thanks to the singing classes.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
If I'd have showed up, maybe I'd be there instead. Damn it.
As we've covered even recently, Keely works nights in the ER. She used to work about an hour east of town at the county hospital near Newcastle. Do you always return the rental car in the shape that you got it? Have you ever had a mishap with the rental car?
Only one.
Oh, did you? You had one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were in Phoenix, so we were going to go to a Cubs spring training game. So we were getting ready to turn left, heading down into the stadium, and this big dually pickup truck with giant extended mirrors comes by and takes off the driver's side mirror.
With a screwdriver?
No, with his mirror.
Oh, wow. Mirror to mirror, just you got bitch slapped by a mirror. The way I was headed with this was Keely on her way home at 2 a.m. on the interstate. A deer had decided it couldn't take being a deer anymore. Life was too rough. Grazing in people's yards and eating their hosta was just not meeting its expectation of fulfillment. And so it leapt into the car and just brutalized the car, brutalized the deer. She ends up somehow making it home, and we get a rental car while they're repairing her car. So it didn't total it.
Did you mount the deer's head in your house?
No, it was a doe, a female deer.
Right.
Ray.
A drop of golden sun.
Right. You could have sung that one at Butler.
Which I had the opportunity. That sounded pretty
They
good.
assigned it to you, though. It's too bad you couldn't have picked the songs.
Yeah, there's one of the songs I still remember, the first few lines of one of the songs.
Okay.
I'm not going to sing it. I still remember my drum solo I did in 6th grade, too. So
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
What song was it?
Drum solo.
It
wasn't a song.
Oh, so it wasn't a drum solo from a song.
No, it was just the title, drum solo.
So anyway, we've got a rental car. She was probably singing doe, a deer, a female deer. And pow! You know, all of a sudden, what was that? It was a female deer.
She should have been singing I Want $1 Million.
Yeah, right. So we have a rental car 1 week later. I'm sound asleep. It's 2:00 in the morning and the phone rings. I'm in a stupor. And Keely is crying on the phone. And she's like, can you come pick me up? I hit a tree. And I'm like,
Who is this?
you hit a tree? She's like, yes, I hit a tree. It was in the road. I just woke up. So I'm thinking, what road has a tree growing in it? And I say that to her. I go, what road on your way home has a tree growing in it? Quit trying to be funny. Are you going to pick me up or not? And I'm like, no, I'm serious. I don't understand. Should I get somebody else to pick me up?
Click. Phone a friend.
I go, no, I just don't understand how there's a tree in the road. And I mean, she would take interstates home. It's just not computing with me. I said, where are you? And I ended up going, and the police officer took her to a truck stop. And I was still like, I don't know what I was dreaming. I don't know if there was a gas leak in the house. But it took me a long time to like come back to reality.
Ambien.
I don't take it.
Somebody slipped you a Mickey.
They did. And so what had happened was there was a storm and a tree fell across the road and it was still raining so hard. She didn't see the tree across the road and she totaled the rent-a-car, obliterated it. Just so happens there was a police officer on the scene in like a minute.
No injuries.
No, other than me getting hit in the head with a skillet because I thought there was a tree growing in the road.
El Kabong. Mr. Funny Man.
So the best thing that I ever saw, median related, was the guy that owned Crackers when I was an open micer was just a guy who picked people to be nice to and people to be mean to. And I was on his hit list. And so he was mean to me. He would fire me because he didn't realize that he booked me as the opening act. And his favorite comic was the headliner. So he would fire me, but he would pay me in full if I would sit in the green room and watch him and copy his style because he was so good.
And can we say who this person was?
Jim Schliebner. He's dead now. I killed him. No.
Not with kindness.
No, definitely not with kindness. I had a 100-gallon fish tank during this time, and there was one fish that picked on everybody, and I called it the Schliebner fish. He would leave the club and maybe do coke or maybe drink with people. And so as you enter Keystone at the Crossing, there's the concrete median that's narrow enough that you can beach a car on it.
Mm-hmm.
There were places that we would go to after the show. The comedians that did the open mics and worked Crackers and the Comedy Connection, it was a cool culture. They were all really nice guys to hang out with. Wherever we were, we ended up going back to people's cars at Crackers, and Schliebner's car was beached so that he couldn't, like the wheels were off the ground.
All four
in the median. And there are police all over the place there all the time. He got DUI'd.
And you got DNR'd.
I don't know whether you feel this way about the zoo or not. Initially, the zoo was just like bringing wild animals to people. They didn't think about this lion shouldn't be in a 8x8 barred cage because...
Not their natural habitat.
Yeah, right.
Pretty sure.
Fake rock.
Paper mache.
Yeah. So they've evolved over time, and I know that they're involved in helping bring back condors. And we've got now in Indianapolis this new chimpanzee exhibit.
Yeah, it just opened.
And so there are these, of course, fenced in skywalks all around the park where the chimps can go in these tubes all over the place.
Having a blast.
I don't think they are having a blast.
Oh, they're not.
That brings me to the point. So we finally get to a place because they're all busy doing things. And we've got an orangutan exhibit that's kind of the same, too. They can go way up high and sit on these pods way up in the sky if they want to. But they don't have a purpose other than being at the zoo. And so we get to this place where there's a chimp sitting there, and he looks like he wants to kill himself. He looks like he's on antidepressants.
Oh.
I was like, oh, dude. And we're sitting there, and he's just like, I got nothing.
So you're thinking, I want to adopt a chimpanzee.
No, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking, that poor guy, if he is a guy.
For Christmas.
Yeah, right. Meanwhile, Keely's like, oh, I saw one of those TV shows where it's like, I almost died. You know, I was attacked by a puma.
Uh-huh.
And it was this chimpanzee park. And they went around like ravaging people. It's just like they all got together and said, it was like Planet of the Apes.
The uprising.
Yeah. And they just like killed people. They just went ballistic. And so she's like, they're going to get back at people at some point.
Straighten up, mister.
Yeah.
He's taking notes.
I'm looking at this dude that's sitting there like slipping me a note.
Get me out of here.
Get me a pistol. And I just think, oh, man. And I'm talking to Carly about it. And she said, you know what? Most of these, they were probably born at the zoo. So there are these people like the mega wealthy that want to go say that they shot a wildebeest. It's kind of like going on a Disney cruise. It's not like they're the ones tracking this. They just show up right on a Jeep, shoot the animal, and then come home.
Go have dinner.
Yeah, there's no skill involved. The hilljack hunting whitetail in November, he's got way more skill sets and
Right.
has tracked those whitetail. versus the dude that just shows up. They give him the gun. They go, there it is over there. Point over there. He points, blam! And then he's like, now he's got a zebra skin on his floor in his office.
Get a picture of me with it.
Right.
Moving on. What else you got out there I can shoot?
What else can I shoot?
Got any rhino?
Yeah, the white one. I want the white rhino. That was the other thing at the zoo is these guys have these booths set up periodically. It's like a pop-up place where they're teaching you about other things. Mm-hmm. And they're sitting there and no one is paying attention to them. And of course, they're strangers. So
I'm in.
Yep. I'm totally in. And so one of them was something like a kookaburra. And it was this lizard. And so I'm asking them all kinds of questions about, I want to know everything about this lizard. You know, can it jettison its tail if it's been grabbed and all this other stuff? And so they're telling me, meanwhile, Evelyn's going to be 3. So this is like,
now 4.
Yeah, right. And Keely's like,
come on, Grandpa.
We didn't come here to talk about one lizard for an hour. Can we move on down the road? She wants to find... And I can't remember now what it was.
Shaved ice?
Shaved ice. No, ice cream of the future.
Oh.
Dippin' Dots.
Oh, there you go.
She had a couple of things on her agenda to see. And so we go through and we see all those. And she rides on the... Carousel. She rides on the carousel and everything. We get to the point where we think we've reached her max time. And we said, what was your favorite? And she said, dolphins. We never even saw the dolphins.
That is my favorite.
And it just reminded me, I thought, okay, when my kids wanted to go to the zoo, we went to the pet store. You know, the minute that the puppies come out of the cage, it doesn't matter where you are. You're in puppy heaven, then we can go look at some fish in the tank. We go home, have lunch.
Saved $100.
Saved $100. You know, I don't know how it is if you go to the San Diego Zoo, but if you go to the Indianapolis Zoo, it's fat America.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm not kidding you. You sit there and you look and you go, I know why healthcare costs are so high. People are fat. All those people that are going, hey, you got a kid? $45,000. Well, I thought it was like a roll of nickels and a toothpick. You know, that person.
They're at the zoo.
They're sitting there eating fried
dolphin.
Fried dolphin.
Kookaburra on the side.
Right.
On a stick. Hi, this is Andy. If you enjoyed listening to our podcast, please be sure to subscribe and share. Remember, laughter is contagious. Help us spread it by telling a friend.